Hi everyone, it's Maria here. Welcome back to my channel. I am really sorry that I have not posted a video these last couple days, but I've been really busy. I've had this hot chocolate bar video recorded since Thanksgiving, so I finally got a chance to edit it and bring that out to you. So if you have not subscribed or hit the notification bell, make sure that you do so, because I am going to be posting a little bit more regularly during the holiday season, and this way when a new video comes out you'll be notified. So anyway, also stick around to the end of the video. I also included different ways of decorating whether it's the shelves or the hot chocolate bar, just to give you different ideas and inspire you to do something of your own. So anyway, also if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure that you do so. I'll make sure that I include the link in the description below. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we're starting off with our blank slate, and here we have 3 books. Each book is slightly bigger than the other. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, and all I did was flip over the little dust cover so that the inside is out, and all of my books are going to be white. Okay, so now that I've done that with all 3 books, I'm taking these sheets that I also picked up at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just go ahead and cut those in strips of 2, 3, and 4, and then I will just add them to small, medium, and large books. Now the really nice thing about these sheets of rhinestones is that they are self-adhesive, so I didn't have to work with hot glue when I was doing these. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just add my strips to the edge of each book, and then I'm just going to do it on the spine itself. I'm not going to go underneath the book, and that way when I stack them they'll just stack nice and flat. And this is just really easy to work with. Okay, and there's the one book with the rhinestones on each side. And there's the second one, and there is the third. So I did use the wider strip of rhinestones with the larger book. So here I have these letters that I picked up at Walmart, and they're really nice because it comes with 6 sheets. And they come in 3 colors, silver, gold, and black. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use the silver or the black one, but I did end up going with black. And I'm going to go ahead and spell out the word love. And then on the second book, I spelled out the word joy. And then on the third book, I spelled out the word blessed. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stack these right on top of the shelf. And I'm going to do it at a little bit of an angle, slightly off, so that it has a little more dimension to it. Okay, so for the next DIY, I'm going to go ahead and take this tray that's been sitting around for a while. It's a little beat up. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and I'm going to use it upside down. So I'm going to take the little tabs off of the back, and then I'm also going to take that little sticker, the label that's on there. So let me go ahead and clean this up. just a lot easier to add water to it and clean it up that way. So there it is, nice and clean. And I'm using this white paint by Apple Barrel. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint the wood all the way around. Okay, so here we go. And then I'm going to set that aside and let that dry. Okay, now I went to the Dollar Tree and I picked up these two little trays, very similar to the big one. And what I'm going to do is hot glue these two together. And I'm also going to paint it white, and then I'm going to use that as like a little step on the larger one, so it has a little bit of height. So let's just go ahead and hot glue those together. And using the same paint, it's the Apple Barrel white, I believe it's Snow White, and then, or Snowy White, and then just go ahead and paint all that as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and get this picture frame, pick this up at the Dollar Tree, and then this gift bag, which I thought was really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut out the side that does not have the crease on it, and I'm going to end up framing it. So let's go ahead and get that cut out. There we go. Now I'm going to take this little string and tabs off of there. And then what I'm going to do is, using the glass from the frame, I'm going to use that as my guide so that I can trace along, and then I'll be able to get the exact dimension that I need for my picture frame. Which is really easy. Just go ahead and pop the glass right out and lay it on top of the image. Just using a pen, I'm just going to go ahead and trace it. Okay, and I'm also going to go ahead and cut that out. And then I'll just go ahead and pop that right back into the frame. Now you can do this with any kind of gift bag. It just turns out so pretty. You don't even have to try that hard to kind of add a little bit of color or design to your decor. Look at that. Okay, so to add a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and add this little leaves to the edge. I'm going to pop it into the corner of the frame. Just going to dab a little hot glue in there, and then I'm also going to use some berries, and it kind of like brings the whole picture together. And there you have it. Look how pretty, and it's super easy to make. So that is now our third DIY. Okay, so for the next one, I'm going to take this charger plate, and then I'm also going to take the candlestick holder and this little cake tin. All three items were from the Dollar Tree. And instead of putting it in the center, I'm actually going to set it off to the side. Now, I do recommend that you use a little bit heavier duty glue. I'm using hot glue for the sake of the video so that we can go ahead and move forward. But just know that something like this, hot glue would just last maybe a week or so, depending on how much is being moved around. But for the sake of the video, let's just go with this for now. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is use the same rhinestone sheet that I picked up from the Dollar Tree that I used on the books, I'm going to go ahead and just cut small strips and go ahead and line it around the candlestick, kind of just to bring it all together. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and add some rhinestones to the cake tin itself. And here we go. And again, I'm just using the self-adhesive that's on the back of the rhinestones. So if you want to use a different type of glue or super glue, go ahead and do that. All right, so this little milk jar I've had since last year. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby. So I am filling it up with a caulking from the little caulking tube. I picked that up at the Dollar Tree. And then I'm taking a spoon and rubbing it on the inside of the jar just to make it look like it's a little fuller. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and close that up. Really cute. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and spell out the word milk using the same black lettering. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so I've got this jar that I picked up at the Dollar Tree as well. I filled it up with cocoa and spelled out the word as well. Okay, for the next DIY, I went ahead and picked up these two little square tins, and all I'm going to do is wrap them in wrapping paper, red and silver. And it's kind of the theme that I've got going on, white, red, and silver with some greenery. And I'm going to be using the same little green leaves and berries that I used on the frame. So I'm going to put that on top of the boxes instead of bows, just to kind of bring it all together. There we go, look how cute that is. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting this all together. Here is my white tray, and this is the large one, and as you can tell, I went ahead and added the rhinestones to the middle. And then I also did it to the smaller ones that I had hot glued together earlier. And I just stacked it right on top of the large one. And I picked up these pretty little mugs over at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to go ahead and place them a little off center up on top of the shelf. And now I'm just placing my little gifts on top of the books. How cute is that? Okay, so off to the side of the tray, I am going to go ahead and add our two-tiered tray. And then here's our cocoa. I'm going to go ahead and add that. Okay, next I've got these little salt and pepper shakers that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just filled one up with cinnamon and the other one with nutmeg. And then I put the little letters on there, C and N, to coincide with each. And then I've got this little bowl that I've had sitting around, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill it up with these little candies that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. They're like little peppermint from Russell Stover's. I think there's only like 4 or 5 in each bag, so I just went ahead and grabbed 2. And then I've got these wonderful little chocolate filled wafers. They're absolutely one of my favorites. And I also picked this little jar up at the Dollar Tree, and I just went ahead and I used 2 cans of those little wafers, and I'm going to go ahead and just place that right on top of the small shelf next to the cup. Next, I'm taking these little mini candy canes, and I'm actually going to crush them. So all I did was just put them in a little plastic baggie and crush them, and I'm going to go ahead and place those right into a jar, and that way if anybody wants to sprinkle any of those into their hot chocolate, they can go ahead and do so. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on the second tier of my platter. And then I've got my little milk jar. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Okay, so here I'm taking some Little Debbie Christmas gingerbread cookies, and I'm just going to go ahead and put them on the bottom plate next to the milk. There we go. And then I have this candle holder. All I did was slip in a little candle that I had from the Dollar Tree. That little candle holder I believe was from Bath and Body Works. I got that last year. Then I've got this pretty little ornament. It goes right along with the decorations that I'm using. So I'm just going to go ahead and place that right on the candle holder. And you can really use anything to decorate. You can use ornaments, you can use other little items that kind of just brings it all together for you. Next, I picked up these little nutcrackers from the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going to go ahead and place one on each side of my little bar here. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and add my syrup. I'm adding a caramel and chocolate syrup. And then I've got this little candy dish that I picked up at the Dollar Tree as well. They really have a lot of new items that are just adorable, and you can really make something look really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this dish up with some marshmallows. Next, I'm adding my frame, which I think turned out really good. It just kind of all goes together. Okay, so I also picked up these sprinkles. I just picked these up at the grocery store. And then of course the whipped cream. And I picked these little tongs up over at the Dollar Tree. They actually came in a package of 4, so that worked out really nice. And then of course I'm going to go ahead and add some large candy canes to another glass jar. And this is the exact same type of jar that I used for the wafers. And that's it. Now I did include some additional photographs and images and video clips of other decorative ideas that you can use, such as adding maybe a little mini Christmas tree, using ornaments. Just go ahead and make sure that you watch to the end, and that way you'll get inspired to do something of your own. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this video and that you've been inspired to create your own hot chocolate bar, whether it's in a little corner or an area that you've got empty and you're not really using it. Just make something really festive. Anyway, also, if you have not been watching the Winter Soup series, I will make sure that I link that in the description below, because we do have the 3rd one coming out this weekend. So I'm really excited to share that with you. Anyway, again, remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I am going to be posting a little more regularly during the holiday season. You'll be notified when that next video comes out. All right, we'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching, and as always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Love you all. Until next time.